Johnny Somali could be jailed for life. He would be certainly the first foreigner charged with it.
Guys, we got some breaking news on none other than Johnny Somali. And yes, before you go to the comment section and bash me saying I'm fake, I'm this, I'm that, I would like to request everyone to watch this video till the end. We got news coming in that Johnny Somali could stay in jail for life in a Korean prison.
Johnny Somali could be jailed for life. He would be certainly the first foreigner charged with it.
Yes, after almost a year has gone by, right now South Korea has had enough and they are planning to take strict action against Johnny Somali. The question is it like every other news? Or this time is Johnny Somali seriously going to prison for life? Let's break it down.
Johnny Somali, whose real name is Ramzi Khalid Ismail, was born on September 26, 2000 in Phoenix, Arizona. He is the son of a Somali father and an Ethiopian mother. His parents came to America from poverty, seeking a better life.
Bill Clinton never let my refugees starve with mommy and daddy. No Johnny Somali. Y'all niggas blame Bill Clinton. Clinton should have never let my family come to America.
From the very beginning, Johnny had opportunities that most people in Somalia or Ethiopia never get. Proper education, stability, and food on the table. If he had been born there, his life could have looked completely different. Every year, thousands of people from African nations risk their lives trying to migrate illegally to wealthier countries. Many of them end up in prison, and countless others lose their lives along the way. Johnny never had to go through that struggle. He was born lucky. He could have become the next iShow Speed, the next Kai Cenat, or even just a successful figure in his own right. But instead of building something real, Johnny chased quick clout, quick fame, and quick money. And as we all know, anything that comes fast can also destroy you just as fast. Johnny had more than one chance to fix himself. He got arrested for nuisance acts in different countries, but each time he was deported instead of jailed long term. He could have learned his lesson, but instead he doubled down. His first big international spotlight came in Japan, when he mocked the tragedies of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki! Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know what we do to you niggas? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, we destroy it because you don't know how to behave.
That incident instantly branded him as a nuisance streamer. He was later arrested and eventually banned from Japan, but the attention he gained only fueled him to push things further. After Japan, Johnny turned his focus to South Korea. This time, he made what might be the biggest mistake of his life. He disrespected the Statue of Peace, a monument that symbolizes the suffering of wartime victims. He kissed it, danced around it, and mocked it. That act caused outrage not just in Korea, but worldwide. From there, his actions escalated. More disrespectful stunts, more public disturbances, and eventually even being assaulted in the streets by angry locals. Now, after multiple trials and a growing list of charges, Johnny Somali stands at the edge of losing everything. With the evidence against him, he isn't just risking a few years behind bars. He could be facing the rest of his life in prison.
Johnny Somali could be jailed for life. He would be certainly the first foreigner charged with it.
Now guys, to give you some real context, let me break this down. I know a lot of big creators are turning on me, saying I'm desperately covering Johnny Somali just for views, but listen, the first reason is simple. I want Johnny Somali to actually face real consequences. I don't want him to find any loophole or path to escape accountability. Most Koreans are already aware of him now because of all the coverage, but the question is Johnny Somali taking any action behind the scenes? Is he using Discord or other tactics to manipulate people? Because even after so much criticism, he's still living and eating comfortably in South Korea. Just imagine this. If I shut down or stop covering him, or if anyone stops, tomorrow you might see Johnny Somali back in America or somewhere else, free again. That's why it's so important to me to keep the spotlight on him. And honestly, I don't know why some creators are trying to help Johnny Somali. Who knows what their profit is in that? What's their angle? Now, let's get back to how Johnny Somali could actually end up serving life in prison. First, listen to what Legal Mindset are saying.
9th, 2025. Now, that trial will focus on 3 witnesses. We know one of them is Bong Bong. We know another is Young Man. And the last, we are pretty sure, is Hank Yu. Yes, that's right, Hank Yu. And he'll be called as a prosecution witness. In America, you sometimes call this a hostile witness.
So definitely the trial is going to be the biggest day of Johnny Somali's life, the final moment before he goes into custody, because life in prison is just around the corner, and honestly, it's no surprise. So, according to the law and the legal theory of South Korea, life in prison can happen under the Youth Protection Act. This can apply if the youth is a man, woman, or any kind of symbol according to the law. Now, as Johnny Somali disrespected and threatened multiple times the Statue of Peace in South Korea, which actually symbolizes a 15-year-old girl, that might lead to life in prison with multiple consequences for Johnny Somali.
Life in prison may happen under the Youth Protection Act. So let me tell you about this act. It protects children and adolescents. This means any child or youth that define it as under 19 years old. It defines youth and child exploitation material in such a way that could include the Statue of Peace. And it depicts a young teenage girl. They chose to depict a 15-year-old girl to represent the victims at the time they were taken.
So just imagine how brutal it was. Johnny Somali knew about this, but even so, he rudely disrespected the statue. The Statue of Peace actually represents a 15-year-old girl, which is a cultural symbol of pride and respect for the South Korean people, honoring their historical sisters. But Johnny Somali totally disrespected it, and even threatened to harass and disrespect the Statue of Peace multiple times. This is beyond disrespectful. If I were in the authorities' position, I would take this charge against Johnny Somali first, because it's literally too disrespectful and humiliating. Something that should be a source of pride and respect for the South Korean people was crossed by Johnny Somali.
So if Johnny Somali goes out there throwing baby oil on it, right? Doing a Diddy dance, calling it a Diddy party, right? And escalating. Once again, he moved from kissing to grinding to dancing. If he goes out there and simulates a sexual act on this statue, which would be the clear escalation, and based on his latest post, it seems like he even intends to do this, to go out and escalate once again against this statue, that's a representation of a child. Materials shall be punished by imprisonment for life, or for a term of not less than 5 years. Not less than 5 years, guys. Up to life. No joke here, no exaggeration.
So definitely there is a chance if this time the South Korean authority punishes Johnny Somali with that. But there is actually no confirmation if Johnny Somali will really get this charge or not. Because if the South Korean authority had made Johnny Somali face consequences earlier, then a lot of the things he did later would not have even happened. So actually, Johnny Somali should face this charge if the South Korean authority really wanted to fully hold him accountable for this. And as you know, Johnny Somali himself admitted that the South Korean authority is digging into him just for the Statue of Peace incident and the reckless things he did.
Trying to get out of this case, man. That's the only reason I'm being charged, is because I touched that statue. If I never touched that statue, I promise you, none of these charges would have happened, guys, at all.
So Johnny Somali knows that he actually did very shady things. Just imagine, the things he calls reckless from his own perspective might actually be the main reason South Korea is still holding him. But still, South Korea has not applied this charge yet. I don't even know if they will take the charge in the next trial or not, but it should be one of the reasons for Johnny Somali's jail time, which the South Korean authority still hasn't used. Even here, Legal Mindset claims that Johnny Somali actually has nothing to defend himself with. Now he should face the consequences for the things he did himself.
There is no excuse for Johnny Somali. He knows what this represents. He said he knows what this represents. We're in the middle of the trial, so he can't deny knowledge. He's been told multiple times. He's facing crimes right now, like multiple crimes, right? He knows this. So if he goes out and does this, it's with knowledge of what that represents. There's no more denying it. There's no more pretending. He's been on the record. He's been questioned about this. There's multiple comments. He knows it depicts a child. So if he goes out there and does that, that would fit the definition under the statute.
I agree with the Legal Mindset. Definitely, this time, Johnny Somali should face consequences. He cannot just keep escaping accountability forever. And if South Korea really enforces the law, then this could finally be the moment he pays for everything he has done. So guys, what do you think? Should Johnny Somali finally face the maximum punishment for all of his reckless actions? Or will he find another way to escape again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.